I had a chance to read the article you referenced, and it's interesting to me. The word that came to my mind, or the words that came to my mind, was the people that are the best workers are the ones that are the best problem solvers. And maybe that's more of an educational term, but it seems to me like the education realm could definitely benefit from mindfulness as well, teaching our kiddos, at the start of the day how to be mindful and how to, be good co-students and good stewards of their school. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Ryan, I love that you brought it back both to problem solving and to education. Mastermind has, had the honor of working with a lot of Dallas teachers or emerging teachers, and giving the teachers, the educators, the social and emotional well-being skills they need to be in a classroom environment and be able to take care of themselves while giving to others. We're giving the students almost like secondhand mindfulness teachings, but we're really helping the teachers themselves care for themselves and prevent the burnout that we so often see in the education system. And I want to bring it back again to what you said about problem solving. You can think of, and I'm an engineer, so I always think, problem solving, but in our lives, a lot of times we can think of like a repetitive thought loop or a difficult emotion as a problem that comes up. Like, we all have challenges in our lives, and mindfulness gives us more tools to solve the same problems. So rather than be kind of on autopilot, to have a whole kind of behavioral pattern in place, with mindfulness, you have the opportunity, say you go back to those teachers who are working with kids and you feel a student kind of trigger you, kind of get upset and violent. And mindfulness gives you the space, gives you the pause to check in with what you're feeling in your body, in your breath, and get that little bit of extra space to then reapproach the problem from a grounded, mindful perspective, rather than being stuck in our habitual reactions, if that makes sense.
Dorsey, we talked about in one of our recent meditation sessions, we talked about flow and, the idea of flow and focus and flow. And when I read about it in Wisdom 2.0, the book Wisdom 2.0 is in the context a lot of times of the zone. A lot of people think about in basketball when a player is in the zone and can't miss, or really wired in baseball and with 3 or 4 home runs in a game. But even in our work, we can get in flow. So can you talk about how mindfulness relates to flow and how we can utilize that in our everyday life?
Yeah, I love that, Shawn. So when we talk about flow state or peak state, it's almost this mythical place where you're creative, your thoughts are flowing, you're working on a task or a project, and it's like you lose all sense of time. And a lot of creatives will talk about doing their best work when they're in the flow or in the flow state. And so when we practice mindfulness, we're cultivating that single-pointed focus on the breath or the body in this present moment. And that trains our brains to focus in on just one thing, which is how we get into the flow state. What's happening from a brain perspective is the brain waves are slowing down a little bit to the alpha wave range, which is enhanced creativity and kind of a detached sense of peacefulness and calm. And that level of brain waves facilitates, Shawn, kind of like you're talking about, the flow state for a lot of different creative tasks.
This is Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Very exciting to have Dorsey Standish with us. We're going to take a quick break, and I think when we come back, maybe Dorsey can lead us all through a short meditation. So stay tuned. We'll see you right after the break. Thanks for coming on.
Welcome back. This is Deconstructing Dallas. I am Shawn Williams with Ryan Trimble. We have Dorsey Standish here with us today, and she is the Chief Mindfulness Officer of Mastermind, and she is sharing some wisdom with us today about mindfulness.
Dorsey, I've had the pleasure of being in meditation class with you, and it's really a treat. So I was so excited when you agreed to do a brief meditation segment for our listeners. So I'm going to just turn it over to you and get in position here.
Great. Yeah, we all need it. So let's go ahead and drop into about 2 minutes of stillness. If you want to find a comfortable seat, feeling both of your feet grounded on the floor. If it's comfortable for you, you can close the eyes down. See if you can relax the jaw, soften the muscles of the face. Maybe even roll the shoulders up, back, and down, broadening across the chest. And feeling all the places that your body is supported by the chair and the floor. Noticing the body breathe. Maybe you feel cool air moving into the nostrils. The chest, the torso expanding on the inhale, and that expansion dissolving on the exhale as warm air flows out the nose. Continue to take deep breaths in and out through the nose. See if you can relax the muscles of your belly so that you're breathing into your abdomen. Most of us are used to breathing shallowly into and out of the chest. But when we breathe into the belly, we're physically stimulating the vagus nerve, which calms the central nervous system and allows us to rest and digest. Take 3 more deep belly breaths. And we'll close practice by bringing a small smile to the face. Even if it's forced, shaping our face with a smile begins to release endorphins into our body. Thank yourself for these few moments of stillness as you wiggle the fingers and the toes, and take any stretches that you need to come back into the space.
Well, for those of you who may not meditate often, we have an opportunity to do this here at Alameda once a week because we have instituted a 30-minute period at the beginning of our work week in which we have an opportunity to practice mindfulness with Dorsey. And then I was also talking about before or during the break how I can tell when I'm a little bit off center when it's been a while. I know I try to practice at home on my own, and I have not done so in a couple of days. So this is kind of a good reminder of how at ease, how peaceful, how mindful you can be once you just take even a few minutes of practice, which we did here in the office and in the studio along with you.
Yeah, something I've taken away from the classes at Mastermind is just starting my day 5 minutes every day, sitting still, being quiet, and thinking and writing down, my thoughts and my plan for the day, and then it helps me execute. So, normal people do this too. It's not like Shawn was saying. You don't need to sit in the lotus position and turn on, light up some incense and do anything crazy like that. It really is about being present and being productive.
I love what you guys are saying, and just a reminder that when we meditate, sometimes it's like bliss. We're just so calm and we're able to be peaceful. Other days it can be more challenging. And that practice of coming back to the present moment, whether it's while you're washing the dishes and you come back to the feeling of the water on your hands, or in practice when you come back to the feeling of the breath and the body, we're training our brain every time we come back. So when we notice that we've wandered, that's actually a success. That's why we're in practice. And we can always take a deep breath and start again with a focus on the present moment. It's such an honor. I mean, I can't even tell you, just those 2 minutes of mindfulness, I feel like so peaceful and calm. And I just have to share a moment of gratitude that this is my job, that I can bring this to people and to myself. I mean, gosh, I even heard Ryan's stomach start to rumble because, so I was telling you guys about the vagus nerve, right? So when we breathe into our belly, we finally get to rest and digest. It downregulates our central nervous system. And so a lot of people will have their stomach start rumbling or other signs of kind of digestion and settling down just because we're taking a few deep breaths.
That's different from the vagus nerve that I used to know.
Yeah, I was thinking about a different vagus nerve that we've discussed off air before, and so it's good to know that there's
Very
a
far
different
off air.
Yeah, a different vagus nerve to talk about. I wonder, even thinking about our listeners and how they might have listened to this particular meditation segment, whether or not people would even think, oh, you know what, I'm going to forward it to the end and hear what they talk about. If people could even take this couple of minutes, because again, based on how we live, it's hard to just sit, be focused, be quiet. And I've learned even through some of the readings, it's just hard to even be quiet sometimes. We want to have the TV on while we walk around the house, or when we go running, we have to have earbuds in, and we're not able to just partake in silence, partake in quiet, or even listen to the sounds that are going on naturally around us.
Yeah, so true. Even a moment of silence and stillness can be a victory. So can I go ahead and share the takeaway for
Absolutely.
the listeners? So like Shawn said, you might not have 2 minutes or 10 minutes to sit and get quiet and practice the art of focus and engagement. So a tool that we actually use a lot with educators in the classroom that I was talking about before the break is called the STOP tool. It's an acronym. So S is stop. T is take a deep breath, or maybe 3 deep breaths into the belly. O is mindfulness practice. Observe your thoughts, your feelings, and sensations in the body. And then P is proceed in a way that supports you in that moment. So it could take, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Stop what you're doing, take some breaths, observe what's going on, and then make a decision to proceed in a way that's more mindful than what you might do on autopilot.
Very cool. And if any of our listeners wanted to find you to learn more, where could they find you online?
Yeah, mastermindmeditate.com. If you go to our programs tab, we have some collaborations at Spanish House Elementary and also Brain Performance Institute coming up. You can check out some beginner-friendly workshops.
Dorsey, we want to thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for all that you do and helping us to understand mindfulness and to be centered and focused. And hopefully we can get you on again, maybe even do a longer meditation set. And we look forward to learning more as you continue your practice and your business.
Love that. Thank you so much, Shawn. Thank you, Ryan.
Deconstructing Dallas. We'll be back after this.
Back, Deconstructing Dallas, Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. And Ryan, aren't you even more ready for your day after that? Aren't you ready to close this day out in the most positive way based on our interaction and time with Dorsey Standish?
Dorsey's great, and we are really fortunate to be able to enjoy some meditation classes with her. Again, we hope you all will look her up. She is really, really a neat lady, and hope you'll try practicing meditation.
Yeah, it's for everyone. It's not something that you have to be ashamed of, or you have to. I mean, this is something that will help you in your day. And Ryan and I can firsthand attest to the fact that it has benefited our lives, and we just wanted to share with you.
Going to benefit your family life, going to benefit your work life, going to